Gay.
Gay. Gay.
Members of NWSL Club Orlando Pride had a nice rebuttal.
We're going to make sure that parents are able to send their kid to kindergarten without having some of this stuff injected into their school curriculum.
To a man who truly does not care about anything but attaining max power in the country.
Because if you had been infected, then you...
But should have the equivalent of zero, that being Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
Gay.
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 Gay. Gay.
Per the usual, whether it's professional female soccer players.
Sue, you are making a statement with your t-shirt today.
We're a league that represents more than just basketball, and I think one of the things that we're really, or that is really important to us is voting. And I think this is just a great way to connect those dots between social justice and getting out and voting.
Or pro ball players. In the Women's National Basketball Association,
Raphael Warnock, the projected winner, beating incumbent Senator Kelly Loeffler.
Leave it to the ladies to make serious change. So when you see posts like this,
Gay.
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 Oh. Yeah, gay. Gay, 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 gay.
it strikes fear in folks who wish athletes would shut up and dribble.
Critical race theory is basically teaching people to hate our country.
This guy is so horny for misinformation and stoking fear. You might even say he's for it.
If you are out protesting this bill, you are by definition putting yourself in favor of injecting sexual instruction to 5, 6, and 7-year-old kids.
This is false, but then again, if you follow this dude's sham-style work in office, it comes as zero surprise. A close read of the text of this bill shows it to be an overly broad piece of legislation that requires school mental health counselors to out LGBTQ plus children to their parents, and makes any discussion of LGBTQ plus issues or identities practically forbidden because parents could start a state investigation and sue for damages anytime they feel aggrieved. As a result, the bill endangers the lives of children who already suffer disproportionately high rates of houselessness and self-harm. Really, it's the don't discuss anything about queer or trans existence and don't counsel trans or gay kids. Instead, you must out them to their parents, or else parents can force a state investigation of the school, get money damages, and probably get you fired bill. Talib Visram wrote, advocacy groups concerned with LGBTQ well-being worry about the toll of such legislation on mental health, especially given that 42% of LGBTQ youth already seriously considered unaliving last year, including more than half of trans and non-binary youth. Florida's bill threatens to take away the solace of schools, where many young people can freely embrace their identities. Adding on, the bill's broad language not only says classroom instruction on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3, but it also bans such instruction in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in accordance with state standards. What does that mean? No one knows. But because the bill empowers parents to sue whenever they perceive a slight, anything is fair game. The provisions governing school counseling are even worse. The bill requires school boards to adopt procedures for notifying a student's parents if there is a change in the student's services, or monitoring related to the student's mental, emotional, or physical health, or well-being, and the school's ability to provide a safe and supportive learning environment for the student. And no district could prohibit school district personnel from notifying a parent about his or her student's mental, emotional, or physical health or well-being. Just a quick reminder, Republicans brought forth these bigotry-filled bills to protect things like children and to promote safety and protect schools, right? Simultaneously, not a single Republican lawmaker has brought any legislation to the table regarding gun control. Absolute crickets on kids dying at the hands of firearms, but hey, let's target LGBTQ youth. And look, it's not just Florida. There are now more than 250 anti-LGBTQ bills in at least 37 states, according to the LGBTQ legislative tracker, Freedom for All Americans, and the Human Rights Campaign. What I personally find ironic is this is the party that clings to freedom and free speech and liberty unless they're against it. Because then you see legislation like this, specifically out of Florida and Trumpian Governor Ron DeSantis.